How's it going, guys? Thought I'd make a video today about some other things that I've added to my kit, my pack, and I think it'll make for an interesting video. Stick with me. Alright guys, when we head out in the outdoors, when we head out in the woods to hike, bike, fish, camp, hunting, all those things, most of us carry a cell phone. And we should carry a cell phone. Charged up and ready to go. A lot of people are now using things like Onyx and Spartan Forge and things like that for their hunting software. I do. A lot of people use things like Gut Hook and other apps like that for hiking. So it's important to have your cell phone for mapping and communication. Obviously you should have some other forms. But to me, you know, we go everywhere else with it, but for some reason sometimes people will leave these things at home, or they'll go into the woods without this thing being charged, and they will find themselves in a bad situation. So I've added a couple things and started a new hobby, but we're going to go the most simple one and the one that you've probably seen and heard the most first outside of the cell phone, and that is I have picked up a Garmin InReach Mini 2. So if you don't know what this is, it is a couple things. One, it is a satellite communicator, and with a subscription plan I can, and I've tested this with no cell phone service whatsoever, I can message back and forth with my wife, my son. I can message InReach to InReach if I'm with somebody that has one. That costs no money. I can turn it on, and it does a couple things. It has a feature where it'll ask my wife if she wants to track me. I can turn that off if I want, but I like it being on. She knows immediately that I'm doing something in the outdoors, if she didn't already know, what she usually does. But she can also track it. She wouldn't need to, but at any point she wanted to say, hey, why didn't he come home? She could do that. Also, it has this SOS button on the side. I can pop that open like this, and I can hit that, and what that does is it's connected to a call center for Garmin. It's worldwide and it's global. This works anywhere in the world, and they will get the proper, they will start messaging with you, and they will get the proper people headed your way to try to rescue. If you're in a life or death situation, I'm not saying they're going to be there in 5 minutes, but somebody will know where you are, and somebody will be coming to check you out and to help you. So that's just a handy thing, and I'm not too impressed with the map on this, which you can use independently of the phone. It's just harder, but it will work. But the map, Garmin's map, is amazing. I like Garmin's map almost better than any other mapping software out there, and have been using it a lot more since I got this. They make bigger versions, they make different versions, and the InReach though is just a must-have for anybody going into the outdoors anymore. It took me a little while to get one of these, but being able to let people know you're running late, that something's wrong, be able to get a signal out. One of the few times I've gotten to get in the woods since summer, I had a little issue, had no cell phone service, and I was able to just message with my wife. I didn't need to hit SOS. I just needed to message with my wife and let her know what was going on. And honestly, these things, I mean, you can't rely solely on this. You should have a map and compass, know how to do it, and have some understanding and navigation. But these versions of this really should be standard for all people that enjoy the outdoors, I believe, even though they cost a little bit of money. I think this one was a little under $300, and you can get the ones that have the map on them. I want one, a little bit out of my price range, but I thought, you know what, I might just add a whole separate device that's not an InReach, that is a mapping on top of the map and stuff that I already have, and we'll go with that later on. We'll talk about mapping. The second thing that I have added is this beofang GMRS radio. This one happens to be the UV5G Plus, which means that it is FCC compliant. Now, a lot of people will get ham radios and unlock them and use them for GMRS and all these things. I just got the legal version, and it works great. So one of the reasons that I got this is because it has this. Now you can request, it costs money, but you can request on the Garmin the weather. What I like about this is
gusts up to 30 miles an hour. Sunday, sunny. Highs in the mid-70s.
It has weather forecasts on it, and it works. It also has, you know, I can click it over to FM.
Wait for the tone, you know what to do.
And so if I wanna listen to a little music or something, maybe I'm out camping or hiking, don't have a radio with me any other way, I can do that. But what I really like about this is it adds another layer of communication. I've got a couple of these now, and the good thing about GMRS is this. I grew up on CB radios. My dad had them, all his friends had them, they hunted with them. I carried one everywhere I went as a kid. And begrudgingly, because you had to leave it on all the time, and they can be loud, and they don't have that much range for a walkie-talkie. You had to have a base station or a mobile to have much range. These things have some pretty good range. One is if you're just simplex, just talking radio to radio, you've got a couple miles depending on where you're at, 2, 3, 4 miles. You can get roll-up antennas, put them up, and go further. So if you're just close around with your buddies, you know, you've got some direct communication, and they're quiet. They're pretty quiet. Like, you don't hear a ton of traffic on them all the time, even though people are on them and they're monitoring. One of the best things about this is the repeaters in the area. We have some great repeaters in my area, and you know, your mileage will vary on that, but we have a few, and I've probably got 10 repeaters in this, and I've tested them all, and the ones local to me, one of the particular ones I can hit from my house, I've hit it from 20 miles from the repeater in the opposite direction, and I've hit it from 32 miles so far as the furthest, in the opposite direction to that repeater. And being the fact that I could hit that repeater from my house means I could talk from there to here through the repeater. You have to ask permission on GMRS on some repeaters, some are open. The ones I'm talking about, I had to get permission, but all I had to do was go on and ask permission on a website, and they gave me permission to use the repeater. Another good thing about GMRS is once you register with the FCC and you apply for your license, it's $35 right now to apply for your license, but it don't just cover you. It covers you and everybody else in your house. So I can use my GMRS license, my call sign, and then an identifier that identifies as me, and then talk to my wife. She can use the same call sign and an identifier that is for her. I can say, you know, I can say I'm unit 1, she can be unit 2. Same thing with my son. If we're out camping and we're deer hunting spread out, I can put in a GMRS mobile unit, or even just use the walkie-talkies at the base camp, and then have contact without cell phone service with everybody around if needs be. Some of these things have a lot of other features than this one, and you know, later on hopefully I will get into that. But I really like that fact, and like I said, not everything is a life and death emergency. Maybe, you know, a lot of Jeep clubs in my area, maybe your area too, use GMRS to communicate between them. Maybe I'm out of gas and I'm 10 miles deep on a back road, and I just need to radio somebody for some help, and I ain't got cell phone service, or, you know, something like that, blowing a tire. I just need a little help, a little assistance. Maybe I need to just let my wife know I'm running late, and I need to explain it a little bit better than I can in a text message, but I ain't got no cell phone service. I can do that with this. So, just something. I've had this for a couple months. Really, really love this radio. I intend to invest more in GMRS and get more, maybe some mobile units for my truck when I get it back going, and probably some upgraded versions of this. But I love this. You can get, like I said, you can get roll-up antennas with coaxial. It weighs almost nothing. And for a regional communication, I would say regional, you know, a couple counties, if you've got good repeaters, it's awesome. Definitely beats the old CDs that I carried around a lot. And everybody I've talked to on that has been super nice. The next thing is I wanted to go more. I wanted to do more. So I studied. I took my ham radio technician test, which is the entry level in ham radio, and I passed. Now the FCC's closed down or just reopened, so I have to wait for them to issue my call sign and pay another $35. But I'll get my call sign for ham whenever that happens. Now this one's programmed. If you don't know anything about ham, This thing, I've got about 50 repeaters in it, and it'll do all the same stuff that the other one will do when it comes to FM. This one also listens to AM, and it has the NOAA weather. Let's see if I can
Was mostly cloudy with a temperature of 72 at Bristol.
Now this has got some pretty good range on it. I haven't really tested it to the extent that I've tested the other one as far as just listening, because I can't talk on it. I cannot transmit on it right now. Until I get that call sign, I won't be legal. But I've probably got 50 repeaters programmed. There's a lot more repeaters for this than there are the GMRS in my area. This will talk on the 2-meter band, the 70 centimeter band, the 1.25 meter band. And I've got probably 20, 25 2-meter bands in here, same thing for 70 centimeter, and then maybe 10 for 1.25. And the thing about that is that gives you a lot more opportunities to hit a repeater. This thing talks pretty good ways through the repeaters, and I mean, ham radio is so extensive. I'm already studying for my general, and I'm really wanting to get into HF and long distance communications and activating parks, going to parks and trying to make contacts and things like that, and really delve into the amateur radio space. To me, that's just a new hobby that I'm raring to get into. Sorry, I got acorns falling on tin roof over here. But now listening, I had this thing on a repeater that's about 25 miles from here the other morning, and I was listening to a couple guys talk, and one was about 100 miles from me, and one was I guess below that. And I couldn't believe that they were hitting that repeater. And I don't know that I could have talked back to those guys, but as loud and clear as they were coming in, I think I could have, because I know I can hit that repeater from here. That's awesome. I mean, you're talking 100, this is VHF, UHF, and we're talking a couple hundred miles communication. Now, you can't share call signs like you can with GMRS. And like I said, there's HF, there's a lot of things you can get into. We can talk all over the world with this thing. But this radio here is the beofang K5. I went with the K5 instead of the UV5R because it's a little bit of an upgrade, I think. I keep the bigger rubber antennas on both of mine. I will end up getting probably a roll-up antenna for each of these to go in the pack. I won't always have both with me. It just depends on what I'm doing and what I'm expecting. This is more to communicate with locals and home and whatever, when I'm not using that satellite communicator as a backup to the satellite communicator, or instead of, or in a hunting party, which I don't do too much of, but usually with a hunting partner or something like that, we can both have in our pack. Somebody, 6 o'clock, you ain't heard from the other person, turn it on, and it can be helpful. And you can talk, simplex on this too. Just like the GMRS has simplex outside of the repeaters, you can talk back and forth outside of the repeaters. You just don't have that range. They make mobile units, ham. There's a ton of different antennas, setups, bands you can get on with different radios. There's digital modes. There's ways to send emails with no internet, just with the radio and your cell phone. Like I said, I'm not saying you can go around talking 100 miles with this thing all the time. The other morning was right after we would had some, we could see the northern lights, which we normally cannot see. So that may have had something to do with how far I could hear on this radio. Like I said, I was not transmitting, but I will be soon. I believe that they will hopefully issue my call sign anytime now. I should get the email to send them their money and then get my call sign. But I just wanted to give you guys some ideas for comms, something besides just your cell phone, and something besides, because a lot of people are carrying this or something like this now, something besides just a satellite communicator. Because a lot of these radios now, I think you can get where you can send locations back and forth to each other on the radio, or you can actually see where somebody's talking from on the radio, like when you're talking to somebody else, like a hunting partner or something of that nature. So Well guys, that's all for now. Thank you for watching, and radios are something that's going to start being part of my channel. Have a good one.